Hi there, traders. This is Brad Gilbert with the weekly kickoff. All right, now the German elections, a bit of a calamity there. Friedrich Merz, okay, conservative opposition party has won the election, but you know what? There's a whole range of issues with the alternative for Germany, the far right, sort of winning a huge amount of votes, and policy is going to be sort of tricky. Anyway, they in a position to sort of form government. That's sort of whole murky, and not to be leaning on Mertz's name there, but the whole murky situation here has sort of discombobulated euro, right? So just think when the markets open up, right? There's no uniform opening time on Mondays or Sundays in Europe. Now, you know what? The initial reaction was a big jump up, and then it flies back down. It's problematic trying to trade these events at the time of the release, right? Because you don't have the critical mass. It's not like the whole market is trading. The interpretation of what might happen could be different in Europe to what it is elsewhere. I think it's at the early stage, maybe tricky government, so a little bit of euro weakness, but it's not uniform, right? So, and if I show you just look at the prime time analysis, right? The what you get with these events over the weekend, right? The short-term direction becomes a little bit murky, as does the short-term momentum, right? So it discombobulates. What we need Europe to open up on Monday. We need everything to sort of sit down, let the dust settle, and then we'll have a clear understanding. Because at the moment, you're sort of waiting across the board because of that uncertainty. Where is euro going? And obviously, euro being the biggest traded major pair, it has impacts on other instruments. But right now, at the start of the week, we've got the dollar, nicely sort of trending down. Okay, dollar yen, I keep saying we've got to get on the dollar yen. It's going to provide many opportunities going down over the course of the next coming months, right? Dollar CAD caught between a rock and a hard place. It doesn't know what's going on. Oil has bounced somewhat. So that's where we are there. And you've got, well, actually, you know what? Euro was going up, sterling, Aussie, Kiwi, but you know what? Just a little bit of uncertainty in Europe at the moment with those German elections. We'll have to wait and see how they play out. But don't forget to check your daily charts. Always check in, see what the major trends are doing, right? And the dollar, to me, looks prime for a move down, right? It is breaking down. Dollar yen's down. It's breaking down across the board. And we are seeing euro, sterling clawing its way back, Aussie and Kiwi, right? The next leg of the major trend, which to me is dollar down, is in play. Things that disrupt that are, say, European elections, where the outcome isn't exactly clear, right? What's going to happen there? So that's where we are. We're just sort of caught between this reshuffle, a change of government in the US, change of government in Europe. Okay, let's just see how the dust settles over the next day or so and then work it out from there. Like the week, okay, we've got a pretty consistent week with a few different variables coming out. If anything, really focusing on the obviously in the US, we've got a couple of sort of peripheral numbers there, consumer confidence, the Case-Shiller numbers, okay, for example. For me, I keep focusing largely on inflation numbers. We do have the monthly indicator out of Australia. This is important. They just cut rates. They're talking about staying on hold, the RBA. So we've got a weak number here, somewhere down around that 2.1. That they're going to start factoring in rate cuts next meeting. So that to me will be important. I'll be covering that. And as you go through the week, there are bits and pieces coming out. This is one of those weeks where we get some flow, right? Where we start to see the impact of the economic numbers in that first week or first 2 weeks should start to really show us a clear trend. And that's what I'm sort of talking about on the hourly charts. We don't want sort of disruption here geopolitically, right? We've got the dollar doing its thing. That gives us the edge. Geopolitical events, all they do is discombobulate this natural flow. So at the moment, we've got some flow. We just need the peripheral data to fit in the picture, and then it's game time, right? No central bank meetings this week. You look at the overall, look at the NASDAQ from Friday, okay, down 2%, got hammered. What are US yields doing? Slightly lower, right? We had the 30-year up at 4.85, I think it was sort of somewhere last week. So US yields are slowly falling. That gives us a bearish tone on the dollar, right? So I think the lead will come out of European equity markets today. So with that, we'll see how things go. Just keep an eye on the majors. I think it's a little bit murky at the moment to be trading those too actively. All right, so that's where we are. Now, coming into the trade hub, let me just give you a bit of a rundown of what's happening here. Now, with the actually with the week, the way it's shaping up, I'll have a session on Tuesday, right? 7 a.m. London time, identifying prime time pro setups. There's a couple of specific setups that you really need to be focusing on, and I'll run through the whole idea of sharing the data outcomes from the prime time pro setup so we can actually see exactly what's going on. The Aussie CPI indicator, to me, probably one of the better opportunities this week. Obviously, an inflation number, but then at the same time, it's not like a massive head kicker number. It's just either going to be weaker or stronger, and the market should react. So I'll be covering that. That's at 11 a.m. Sydney time on Wednesday, right? So I got the dates mixed up last time. So just keep an eye on that. Now, right at the moment, okay, if I show you the prime time pro analysis, really dollar yen is a focal point, and dollar CAD at the moment looks bullish. We'll have to see how that plays out because oil is rallying, which should put downward pressure on dollar CAD. But at the moment, it is giving me a bullish sort of signal and bearish for dollar yen, right? And there's no need to rush into dollar yen. It is where it is and where it needs to be. We just need to wait for the timing of the trade to be sort of in a good spot. So right now, today, I'd be looking at those. But at the moment, when there's a geopolitical event like the European election, it's probably wise just to let the market, especially Sunday in Europe, let the market sort of open up Monday and let's see how the market reacts to the outcome, right? The Aussie CPI indicator Wednesday, as I said, the key number, I'll be running through that and providing some outcome scenarios once we get closer to that release time. So all in all, we do have it's like a good trading week, right? When you do have markets that are sort of flowing naturally, okay, and we should start to see like the old long-term trends here are looking pretty good, right? But short-term uncertainty, that's why we're going to be waiting today, and we'll see how it looks tomorrow. All right, guys, get your charts tuned up. That's the best thing you can be doing, and start to sort of piece together where the opportunities are going to fall into place this week. All right, guys, have a good one. All the best. Cheerio.